Get my face up in there. Autofocus, bro.
TikTok video.
Yeah.
Well, what is better than one optic on your setup? That is going to be two, like in the case of this bad boy right here. I've got my Swan Fox Arrowhead 1 to 10 as my main rig, and then I have an offset Holosun 507C on the Rukh offset mount from people over at Valhalla Tactical. Now you might be asking yourself, why? You've got an LPVO already. Well, some of us just really want the best of both worlds. In something like this, whether it's tactical or the competition world, there's a lot of good out of LPVOs. You've got that 1 to 10, 1 to 4, 1 to 8, whatever you went with. But say you want to leave this thing at a little bit higher magnification. Say you want a minimum of 3 to 6. Well, you're not really going to be doing that well up close because it's going to be so narrowed in. Well, in comes everybody starting to make offset mounts to put any type of red dot in the offset position. Now what that does for you is it allows you to keep that main optic out there at a higher magnification and just very quickly transition over to your red dot for those up close and personal targets. There are a lot of choices out there for optic mounts these days, and this is just another one, but this bad boy is made out of grade 5 titanium, but it does come at a premium. However, they do have a couple of other style mounts that may work with the mount you already have, say ADM or Aero Precision, and we'll get into more of those here in a minute. Let's go ahead and check this thing out, get into the specs on it, and give you guys a really good look at what this thing is and what it can do for you. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, turn the bell notification icons on, give that video a thumbs up. If you're interested in supporting the channel in any way, you can use any of the links down below, or you can check out that subscribe star. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this Rukh mount from Valhalla Tactical right now. All right, let's jump into this Rukh mount from the boys over at Valhalla Tactical. Let's just take a good overall look at this thing. You can see that thing is just absolutely sick. The machine work on this is top notch. I can't even describe how clean every single part of this thing is. Every angle, every edge has been machined to absolute perfection. So the difference between this and some of the other mounts is obviously it is standalone. So it's not part of any other mount. You put this anywhere you want, whether it's forward, rearward, in between, whatever you want, and it is positional. So this is basically on a swivel mount right here in the center. Can get you an angle right here. You'll see that little Valhalla Tactical logo right there. What you do is when you get this on here, you actually set your angle. So you can see how tight you can get this, which is something to pay attention to. Because say like this Holosun, your activation is on the left, you need to pay attention to how close that optic is. That also allows you to swivel it further out should you like that, but the tighter it is to that optic, the better off you are working the angles when you transition from this main optic into your offset mount. Another great thing here is we have that battery tray. So for my people out there running the RMRs, you don't have to take this off, lose 0 or reconfirm 0. You just change the battery and you are good to go. When it comes to that installation, okay, you have 2 different torque settings on this. Everything is supplied with it. You can see very nice Allen heads right there. 25 is that kind of torque spec where if you take an impact, it's going to allow that optic to give. 60 foot-pounds is going to be a firm set to where if you impact this hard, something's going to give way. Either the screws, you're going to break the optic, something like that. You pick which one you want, but at that 25-pound rating, you take a hard impact, this thing is going to allow itself to fold so it doesn't destroy your optic there. Now this is made fully of grade 5 titanium, okay? The main section here, this is the 193, so they make a standard height co-witness and then the high co-witness, which is what I prefer. As you can see that I got these tall mount rings on here for my actual main optic. Now they service everything with these different plates. So say you swap optics down the road that has a different pattern, they service the Vortex stuff, Delta Point Pro, RMR, Holosun, Aimpoint T1 stuff. You can get the plate to fit whatever optic you change to down the road. Now I couldn't find the weight spec on this, but I can tell you it is extremely light, especially being that it's made of that titanium, which we all know is absolutely great stuff. Now when you get this thing locked in as tight as you can over here, what it is only a 15-degree difference in main optic to your offset mount here. That's awesome because the least amount of movement, you get to stay in the same eye box, and you barely have to break position on this rifle. You know, if you're looking down this, you barely have to break position like that to go to your backup optic. Of course, leaving you the ability to leave your main optic on a higher power and then go to that dot for up close and personal work. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the positives and negatives, the cost of this bad boy, because it is that high swag titanium, so it's a little bit more than some other stuff, but they do have other options for you we'll talk about here in a minute. Now, the best part about this is definitely staying in that eye box. The ability to just have at minimum a 15-degree offset is pretty slick. That's going to allow you to keep that same cheek weld and really just do minimal movement, transitioning from that high power optic into that true 1-power red dot. Now, the craftsmanship, absolutely top notch. And the forethought to put that battery compartment for those running RMRs in the bottom so you don't have to take that thing off every time is definitely some good forethought. You have those different torque settings to work with. Now, that titanium, like I said, does come at a premium. I have seen this thing, the price point anywhere from $200 on sale to about $249. Definitely not the cheapest thing out there, but they do have other options for you that we're going to get into in another video once I get all the testing done. And that is going to be in the way of their offset hanger mounts for, say, like this one, which is an Aero Precision mount. But I've got their offset change here. It just swaps over and you put your plate on there and you're running your offset red dot again in an optimal position for about half the price of the Rukh, but it's definitely not nearly as sexy as the Rukh is. That's without a doubt. Either way, there are a ton of options out there for offset mounts, and this one is just definitely one of the nicer ones I have seen out there in the market. They did send this out to me for free to test out. And I'm glad they did because this is a keeper. If you get the chance to get one, test one, try one out, they've got one to fit probably whatever need you are going for, whatever brand, major brand optic you have, and whatever height you want. Me personally, I like the 193s. I'm a taller person. I like having that stuff a little bit higher off of that upper receiver, but that's just me. I hope you guys liked the video, and I hope you liked seeing this Rukh mount from the people over at Valhalla Tactical. Make sure you check out any of the links below if you're interested in any of that stuff. Check that subscribe scar out if you're interested in exclusive content or seeing everything first. You guys, get out there on the range, enjoy some time. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready, and I will see you guys on the next one.